Welcome to Tales by WZ. Today's story is about a husband whose wife told him to step aside so she could find someone richer, and what happened when the prenup she ignored decided the outcome. As you listen, think about the moment where you would have drawn the line. My wife said, "You can't afford me." I replied, "Good luck with that." Then I called my attorney, enforced our prenup, watched her chase a richer life, and I just sat in court as the judge opened the folder and her dream of taking half quietly collapsed. I am 37 years old, and 6 years ago I thought I had married my partner in life. My wife is 34. We met at a friend's wedding, dated for 2 years, and got married in a simple ceremony with close family. Nothing flashy. At the time, that felt right. It felt like we were choosing substance over show. Looking back, the cracks started about 18 months ago. She always liked nice things. That was never new. But it used to be in balance. A pair of shoes here, a nice dinner there. Then her college roommate married a finance guy, and suddenly our life stopped measuring up. She started comparing everything. Why can't we go to Bali like they did? Her ring is 3 carats. Mine is barely 1. They just bought a lake house. We are still in our starter home. I make good money, around $140,000 a year in software sales. We live in a good suburb, drive reliable cars, and take a vacation every year. Compared to most people, we are doing fine. But compared to a hedge fund lifestyle, we look poor. And she started to see me through that lens. 3 weeks ago, I came home from a brutal client meeting. My brain was fried. She was sitting at the kitchen island, scrolling on her phone, staring at vacation photos some couple had posted. "We should go to the Maldives," she said, not looking up. "Maybe next year." "I have that commission coming in December," I replied. She finally met my eyes. "Next year, it is always next year with you." "We just went to Mexico in March," I reminded her. "Mexico," she repeated like the word tasted bad. Her husband took her to Italy for 2 weeks, first-class, private tours. I sighed. "I am not a hedge fund manager. You knew that when you married me." That was when her whole expression changed. The warmth dropped out of her face. What replaced it was cold and sharp. "You know what? You are right. I did know that," she said. "And I am tired of settling for your mediocre income and your mediocre ambitions." She stood up. "You cannot afford what I want, then stay out of my way. I will find someone who can." There are sentences you never forget. That was one of them. I just stared at her for a second. Part of me wanted to argue, part of me wanted to promise I would step up. But something inside me went quiet instead. This was not frustration. This was contempt. "Are you serious right now?" I asked. "Dead serious," she snapped. "I am not spending the rest of my life pinching pennies while my friends live actual lives. Either step up or step aside." That was the moment something clicked off in me. The pleading, the trying, the hoping she would appreciate what we had, all of that just shut down. "Good luck with that," I said calmly. She blinked, surprised. I think she expected begging or bargaining, not acceptance. "What?" she asked. I said, "Good luck finding someone who can afford your champagne taste." I walked to our home office, opened the drawer where I kept one particular file and pulled it out. Then I called my attorney. By the time she came to bed that night, divorce papers were already in progress. The next morning, I handed her a coffee and the business card of my lawyer. "We are done," I said. "My attorney will be in touch with yours, or you can get your own." Her face ran through confusion, shock, then rage. "You are divorcing me over one argument," she said. "No, I am divorcing you because you just told me I am not enough and that you are looking for someone richer. That is very clear." I was just upset. "You are really going to throw away 6 years because I was frustrated?" "You told me to step aside so you could find someone else," I said. "I am stepping aside, permanently. You cannot just do this." "I can. Papers are being filed today. Move out or do not, but we are done." I grabbed my keys and left for work. My phone blew up with texts all day. I ignored them. Here is what she did not know. Before we got married, I had inherited about $280,000 from my grandmother. I invested it. By the time we married, it had grown to around $420,000 and kept compounding in index funds. I also had equity in a startup I had joined before we ever met. It was a small percentage, but the company had grown. My uncle is a lawyer. He insisted on a prenup before the wedding. Not romantic, but smart. The prenup completely protected my inheritance and my premarital business equity. I kept those accounts separate. She signed it. She was excited about the wedding, focused on venues and flowers, and skimmed it at best. What was not protected were the things we built together after marriage. House equity. The savings we added to during those 6 years. The portion of my 401k contributions made while we were married. Those would be divided. Honestly, that was fair. But she had been looking at our total net worth, around $780,000, and imagining half of everything. She had no idea how much of that sat on the other side of a very specific agreement. The mediator meeting was scheduled 2 weeks later. She hired an attorney she found online, someone who promised aggressive representation. Her text shifted tone from outrage to soft manipulation. "Can we please talk about this? I did not mean what I said. I was just stressed. You are my husband. We can work through this." I responded once. All communication through attorneys. Her mother called and left a long voicemail about how marriage is hard and I was giving up too easily. Her sister showed up at my office and refused to leave until security escorted her out. Then mediation day arrived. I walked in with my attorney. She sat across the table with hers. Her eyes were red like she had been crying for hours. A small part of me felt bad. A very small part. Her lawyer started. "My client is seeking a 50-50 division of all marital assets, including investment accounts, retirement funds, and home equity," he said. "We are also requesting spousal support of $3,000 monthly for 3 years while she transitions back to full-time work." For context, she worked about 15 hours a week at a boutique. Career was a generous word for what she was doing. My attorney slid a document across the table. "We have a prenuptial agreement signed by both parties 6 years ago." Her lawyer started reading. She looked confused. "What does that have to do with anything?" she asked. Her lawyer kept reading, then he stopped. Then he read one paragraph again. His expression changed. "You signed this?" he asked her. "Yeah, like 6 years ago, before the wedding. It is just standard stuff, right?" she said. "Did you read it?" he asked. "I mean, I skimmed it." This is where a lot of people get burned. They treat legal documents like terms and conditions on an app. The mediator asked, "Is there an issue with the prenup's validity?" Her lawyer sighed. "No, it is solid, very specific." He turned to her. "Your husband's inheritance and his premarital business equity are completely protected. We cannot touch them." "Okay, but we still split the house and his 401k, she said. "The house, yes," he said. "A portion of his retirement contributions during the marriage, yes. But the investment account, that is protected inheritance, which according to this disclosure is currently valued at," he paused. My attorney stepped in. "You said your total net worth was around $800,000, he said to me. I nodded. "The protected assets are around $520,000, my attorney continued calmly. The room went silent, her face drained of color. "That is more than half of everything," she said. "Yes," my attorney said. "The marital assets to be divided are approximately $260,000. Your client is entitled to half of that, roughly $130,000, plus a portion of 401k contributions during the marriage, which brings her total to around $165,000. We are offering a one-time spousal support payment of $18,000, bringing her total settlement to $183,000. Her lawyer kept reading the prenup. "This is actually generous given the terms," he said. She exploded. "Generous? That is barely anything. The investment account was built during our marriage." "No," my attorney said. "It was built before your marriage and kept separate per the prenup you signed." "I do not care what I signed. I deserve half of everything. I am his wife." "You were his wife," my attorney corrected, "and you signed a legal document you apparently did not read." Her lawyer put a hand on her arm. "We need to talk outside." They left the room. The mediator looked uncomfortable. I just sat there, strangely numb. They came back 15 minutes later. Her eyes were swollen. Her lawyer looked defeated. "We reject the offer," he said. "This is unfair and we will fight it in court." My attorney did not blink. "That is your right. We will see you in court." On the way out, my attorney turned to me. "They have no case," he said. "The prenup is airtight, but be ready. She is going to make this ugly." "How ugly?" I asked. "She is entitled and just realized she is not getting what she expected. People like that rarely go quietly." He was right. She tried to drain the joint checking account first. I had already moved my direct deposit and half the balance into a new account, leaving her half plus a little extra. She withdrew the rest, and then had her lawyer claim I had stolen marital funds. Her lawyer was forced to send some of it back when the records showed what I had done. Then she started calling my boss. She told HR that I was unstable and making threats. My boss has known me for 8 years. He called me directly. "Your soon-to-be ex-wife called HR 3 times today," he said. "We documented everything and told her not to contact the company again unless she wants harassment charges." Next came social media. She posted vague quotes about greedy, heartless, manipulative people and being punished for giving everything to a marriage. She mentioned God seeing the truth. Anyone who knew us understood who she meant. Her friends flooded the comments with support. A few mutual friends messaged me, asking what happened. I did not respond. Her mother escalated further. She called my family members. My mom, my sister, even my dad, who she had met twice, and told them I was financially abusing her daughter. My sister called me. "Is this woman serious?" she asked. "She is saying you are hiding money." "Long story," I said. "Just ignore her. I will explain later." Then their legal team filed a motion to invalidate the prenup. They claimed duress and emotional abuse, said she had signed under pressure and without independent counsel. The problem for them was simple. We had the emails showing she asked for an attorney recommendation to review the prenup. We had the invoice from the lawyer she chose. We had her signature on a document saying she had reviewed it with that lawyer and understood it. Now I had to defend myself not just as a husband, but as someone accused of being emotionally abusive. The hearing for that motion came up. Her lawyer argued that she felt pressured, that she did not really know what she was signing. It was all based on her feelings. Then my attorney stood up and presented the paper trail. Email chains where she asked for a lawyer. Invoices showing she paid for 3 hours of review. A signed acknowledgement of independent counsel. Finally, the lawyer himself appeared via video call and testified that he went through every clause, explained what it meant, and she said, "It is fine. I am just excited to get married." The judge took about 10 minutes. "Motion denied," he said. "The prenuptial agreement is valid. I suggest both parties move toward a settlement." She started crying loudly. Her lawyer looked embarrassed. Outside, she walked up to me. "You planned this. You trapped me," she said. "No," I said. "You just did not read what you signed." "I trusted you," she said. "And I trusted that you would not tell me to get out of your way so you could find someone richer," I replied. "Looks like we were both wrong." Her mother stepped in. "You are going to regret this," she said. "She could have had anyone and she chose you. You are nothing without her." I almost laughed. "She literally told me I was not enough," I said. "I am just agreeing with her." "You will never find anyone else," her mother said. My attorney cut in. "That is enough. Any further contact outside of legal channels will be treated as harassment." We left. I could hear my wife sobbing in the parking lot as we walked away. A tiny part of me felt something like pity. Then I remembered her voice saying she was tired of my mediocre ambitions and wanted someone richer. That pity did not last long. While going through our finances for court, I found something else. Years ago, I had added her as an authorized user on one of my credit cards. It had a $15,000 limit. I had set the minimum payments on autopay from our joint account and then, honestly, forgot about it. She did not. $15,000 in charges over 8 months, designer handbags, expensive group dinners, weekend spa trips. all while telling me we could not afford nicer vacations. I brought the statements to my attorney. "This is marital debt," he said. "The card is in your name, so technically you are responsible, but she made the charges." "Can I really be stuck paying for all of this?" I asked. "Not necessarily," he said. "We can argue that this debt should be factored into the division. She used the card. She should bear some responsibility." "Can we do that?" I asked. "We can absolutely try," he said. We filed a motion asking the judge to assign half of that debt to her side of the ledger, $7,500. Her lawyer sent a nasty email complaining we were being petty. My attorney replied with one line. "Your client spent $15,000 of marital funds without disclosure. Should my client bear that burden alone?" The hearing was straightforward. Her lawyer argued that the spending was normal marital expenses. My attorney handed the judge the statements. Normal marital expenses include $800 handbags, $400 dinners, and $1,200 spa weekends, he said. All charged without my client's knowledge while she complained they could not afford vacations. The judge turned to me. "Were you aware of these purchases?" he asked. "No, Your Honor," I said. "I gave her access years ago for emergencies and forgot about it. The minimums auto-paid. I did not notice until the divorce." "And you are requesting she assume responsibility for half this debt?" he asked. "Yes, Your Honor," I said. "She made the charges." The judge looked at her lawyer. "Does your client dispute making these charges?" "No," her lawyer said. "Then half the debt will be deducted from her settlement," the judge said. She stood up and shouted, "This is theft. He is stealing from me." "Ma'am, sit down or I will hold you in contempt," the judge said calmly. She sat. She glared at me like I had taken her future. The final numbers were simple. Her share of marital assets and retirement came to about $165,000, minus $7,500 in her share of the debt. Final amount, $157,500. I kept everything else: my inheritance, my business equity, the remainder of my investments. The divorce was finalized 3 weeks later. It moved quickly because we had no kids and the prenup had already decided most of the big questions. At the final hearing, she tried one last angle. "Your Honor, this is not fair," she said. "I gave up my career for this marriage." The judge scanned the file. "According to the record, you worked part-time in retail before and during the marriage," he said. "What career did you give up?" "I could have pursued more if he had supported me," she said. "That is not evidence," the judge said. "The prenup is valid. The settlement is fair." Then it was done. I sold the house. We split the equity. I did not want it anyway. Every room reminded me of a complaint. I moved into a downtown apartment, half the space, no yard, but fewer ghosts. I kept the furniture I liked and donated the rest. 3 months later, I am okay. The financial hit hurt. Counting legal fees, the house, and her settlement, I lost around $130,000. But I still have my protected inheritance, my business stake, and my peace of mind. I ran into her sister at a restaurant. She pretended not to see me. As I was leaving, one of her friends came over. "You are the guy who divorced her sister, right?" she asked. "Yeah," I said. "Good for you," she said. "She was always entitled. Her sister is the same." It was a short moment, but it felt like confirmation that I was not crazy. From mutual friends, I hear my ex moved back in with her mother and works full-time at the boutique now. She is dating some guy she met on an app who supposedly has money. Good luck to him. Her mother managed to get my new number once and sent me one last text. "You ruined her life. She is struggling because of you," I replied once. She told me to step aside so she could find someone who could afford her. I stepped aside. She should be thanking me. Then I blocked the number. I do not regret the divorce, not even a little. Yes, I lost money. Yes, it was stressful, but I am not spending the rest of my life with someone who sees me as a disappointment because I am not a millionaire. The prenup was not about punishing her. It was about protecting what I had built before she ever knew my name. When she showed me who she really was, it kept her from taking everything with her on the way out. Would I marry again? Maybe, but next time I will pay attention to the early signs. Constant comparison, deep dissatisfaction, entitlement, those rarely fade, they grow. If your partner tells you that you are not enough, believe them the first time. Lesson 1. When someone tells you they are settling for you and want to trade up, take that seriously. You do not have to stay and audition for your own relationship. Lesson 2. Contempt is a giant red flag. Once a partner starts seeing you as beneath them, respect is gone. Without respect, everything else is just decoration. Lesson 3. Clear legal boundaries like a prenup are not unromantic. They are protection for both people against future anger and regret. Lesson 4. Hidden spending and secret debt are not small mistakes. They tell you how someone treats shared resources and whether they see you as a partner or a sponsor. Lesson 5. You are allowed to walk away from someone who values lifestyle more than character. Money can grow. Respect rarely grows back once it is gone. What would you have done in this situation? Would you have filed for divorce after that conversation or tried to forgive and stay? And have you ever seen entitlement or constant comparison slowly destroy a relationship? Share your thoughts and stories in the comments.